Hello, so I will be starting with the part two, with the linked problems that I identified. Um, the first two problems I linked together was the too many cables in one outlet and the fingerprints on computer screens. I linked these together because they lead to disorganization and they require constant cleaning and it's just an overall inconvenience when you have all these cables as well as all these smudges on your screen that might not allow you to see clearly. The next two problems I linked together are the overheated car interiors and a weak Wi-Fi signal outside. I linked this with discomfort and frustration caused by inefficient environments, with the interior of the cars building up the heat and the signal of a Wi-Fi not reaching to the outside of the house. Also, reducing the overall usability of these products or services. The next two I identified were glue bottle blockages, when there's buildup of glue, and kinked garden hoses. These have a lack of quality material and manufacturing with how they're built. They're also inefficient use of your time when trying to fix these. They take away time from what you're actually trying to do, and they're more prominent after each use, which only get worse as you use them more. And the next two problems I linked were YouTube ads that don't skip automatically and password management issues. Um, they can take time away from what you're doing, having to drop what you're doing to go skip the ad simply. And there's also linked inefficient technology, which proves that maybe technology can get smarter in this sense and may require like an update of some sort. Um, the last two problems I chose are making new holes in belts and broken hoodie zippers or bag zippers. Um, I linked these because they both require special tools to fix, which is another expense. And they also reduce the inefficiency of the product and also only presents after long use. You can't really determine these when you initially buy the products. Moving on to the um, three problems from my part three. Um, the first one being a hot car interior. Um, some quick facts about this is that the extreme heat is the number one weather related killer in the US. Another one is that after just 20 minutes on a 80-degree day, the inside of a car can hit 109 degrees, and simply after 40 minutes, it reaches up to 118 degrees, which is pretty hot for the inside of a car. Another data is that um, the darker dashboards and steering wheels, the seats, all those stuff can easily reach the temperatures higher of 180 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the outside temperature and how long the car was outside for. The target market for this problem would be mainly children and pets, just because children are more likely to be left unattended during the vehicle while the parent goes inside of a store. A quick stat is that every 10 days, a child dies from heat stroke in a vehicle. More than half of these deaths are from the parent that they simply forgot the child was in the car. Another stat is that young children are more at risk, as their bodies heat up 3 to 5 times faster than an adult, which makes them more endangered for this type of problem. The second problem I chose was cable clutters, which tend to happen behind your desk in the corner of your room, really anything, anywhere you have a outlet with a bunch of cables. Some statistics for this is that a tangle of cables may eventually lead to an electrical fire, um, because of the likelihood of overheating, since all these cables are just crammed together and um, kind of balled up together as well. Another fact or data is mm, that the National Fire Protection Association cited that um, failures and malfunctions in electrical wires is the second leading cause of home fires, which demonstrates a problem is there. It's pretty big. Um, Also, another data about this problem is um, that the dangling cords and cables could pose a tripping hazard, especially during sh like a shared space with pets and children that can just be walking around, specifically with pets that can just chew anything in the cables, which is be very dangerous. The target market for this would be families, homes, offices, schools, really anywhere that has a lot of outlets being used, typically anywhere, honestly. Um, some data for this is that every household in America owns on average of 25 electronic devices, which demonstrates a lot of chargers, most likely, a lot of connections for TVs, computers, um, lights, anything like that. Um, Another data is that 62% of parents, um, and 59% of adults dislike the cords that come with their gadgets. 68% feel frustrated by the cords clustering up in their home. The last problem I identified was incoming headlight traffic that can affect the visibility of drivers and pedestrians, anyone that's incoming. Um, New vehicles are increasingly taller, which make incoming headlights more likely to be on eye level for drivers in smaller cars like coupes, sedans, really anything that's smaller size. Um, headlight, the visibility in the nighttime is more prevalent, obviously, with an estimated 0.5 to 4% contributing to fatal accidents in the US. Um, Another study shows that glare caused by oncoming vehicles can reduce visual ability judgment and response of pedestrians and drivers. A target market I found for this problem is the drivers, the older people, and smaller vehicles, the drivers of smaller vehicles. Um, some stats for this is um, that there's almost 48 million licensed drivers ages 65 and older, and 68% increase over the 20 years, which demonstrates that there's more um, older drivers out on the road that may have an effect visibility already due to their age. So this is more affected on them, which can definitely have a dangerous effect for them and for the drivers around them. Um, so yeah, those are my three problems. And moving on to my proposed solution, I chose to still focus on I chose to focus on the hot car interior and provide a solution for that. Um, I selected this because there's a problem that can become life-threatening if left a child inside the vehicle. There's also not many fixes besides like window tint that only really decrease the amount of um, heat that makes it into the vehicle. Um, the root cause of the problem. is that the plastic trim inside the vehicles cause the heat to rapidly increase, as these plastics contain like padding that traps the heat. And because there's no sort of like ventilation in the seats or really anywhere when the car is off, the heat just gets cracked or trapped inside the vehicle, regardless if like a window is cracked open or not. Most likely the vehicle will still be getting hot inside. So my proposed solution will be to create a integrated ventilation and like a cooling system installed in the car's interiors, the vents, and the seats, which uses some type of solar powered fan system, and like that can detect the temperature inside of the vehicle, um, to activate these functions. Also some type of heat reducing technology, that can kind of recirculate the air, towards the outside of the vehicle. This solution directly targets the root of the problem as the heat builds up again with the materials inside of the car, not just that the car is sealed closed. Um, so implementing fans and passages will allow for more airflow inside of the car. This solution is better at attempts like the window tint because they just improve the overall airflow in the car without reducing, without just reducing the amount of heat that makes it inside. Um, because the car is going to be sitting out in the sun, it needs to escape from the car's cabin efficiently and not just trap it inside more. And then the target market for this solution will be parents and people found in hotter states in the US, such as California, Texas, Florida, New Mexico, states that are really hot all year long, because they will be seeing these type of temperatures inside of their cars, mostly.